guys, welcome to another Ned's Tool Talk video. In today's video, sun is killing me and I can't look. I need to get my sunnies. Alright, so that's a bit better. Now, yep, in the frame. So today's video subject is gonna be, I was sitting down and thinking, well, chainsaws. A lot of people goes to Bunnings to look at one, buy one potentially, but people just know basics. Yeah, you put oil in it. Some people don't even know you gotta put oil in it, and you go off to cut. There's a bit more to a chainsaw than just buy a chain oil, put a battery on it, and go to cut. There's not a bit more. There's quite a bit more than that. So in today's video, we're gonna go, in short, we're gonna go through the process of how to maintain the chainsaw, how to use the chainsaw properly without cutting yourself, without injuring yourself, and without molesting the machine, torturing the machine. Yeah, because if the chain is not adjusted right and stuff, you're gonna be cutting, but you're gonna be torturing the machine. So that's gonna be subject of today's video. Couple of things to begin with. Just let's get ourselves familiar with the chainsaw. This is your handle. That's how you're gonna be holding your chainsaw. Yeah. So your right hand's gonna go there on a safety and on a trigger. Your left hand's gonna go on a top handle, okay? You can't start a chainsaw unless you've got your brake disengaged. This is your brake on the chainsaw, okay? I'll demonstrate that to you. So, the brake is engaged. I'll pull the safety. Nothing happens, okay? Let's remove the guard. We'll disengage the brake. See that? Okay. Let's engage the brake. Let's pull the battery out. Put the car back on so I don't cut myself. Now, once we got those basics out of the way, the bottom of the chainsaw is gonna look relatively flat because it's meant to be sitting on the ground like that, on the ground, on a table over there. This side of the chainsaw, now depending on the brand, whichever side or position or under on the top, this one in particular, this is Ryobi 12-inch chainsaw, 18 volt of course. On the left side of the tool, you're gonna be inserting your battery, and it says brushless, and you're gonna have your chain oil, bar oil tank in there. You undo it, and it's got a nice plastic thing to hang, so you're not gonna lose your cap. Okay, that's that. We already established that this is a chain brake. You're gonna have a guard. You're gonna remove the guard before using the tool. Once you stop with the tool, I recommend putting the guard back on. This is your chain adjustment screw, call it. On the middle bit, you loosen it. So you loosen the tension on a gray screw, and then you can, now watch the chain, see how it drops down? You can adjust your chain there. We're gonna go in detail of how much you should adjust it. And at the very front, more professional chainsaw will have steel, like ribs here, for you when you're cutting the timber. You can get into it, and you'll see the motion. On my previous video, I've got a video about this chainsaw, so you can see the motion of what you're doing. Now, once we got those basics out of the way, we can get to a bit more complex things. Now, the main thing about the chainsaw is, you can even see on mine, on the bottom, it's all greasy and oily, and you can see here on the table there's some oil. Now, I haven't got any oil in the tank, and that's the main reason why I don't have any oil in the tank. I personally don't use a chainsaw on daily or weekly basis, or even monthly basis. Sometimes I'm gonna use this thing once in a month, once in every week, 2 or 3, when the time is for it. But sometimes it's gonna sit in a shed for 6 months without being touched or used. So once I'm done with using the tool, I like to open this cap and I pour out all the chain oil out of it. I put it back in a bottle, because every single chainsaw will leak oil on the bottom, because it's meant to be, call it free flowing, so you can lubricate the chain. So that's my first advice. Once you're done with the tool, if you're not gonna use it for an extended period of time, get the oil out so it doesn't ruin whatever you leave it and make everything oily. So that's your number one thing. Number two thing is the chain. Make sure you're running a good and sharp chain. If you're running a good and sharp chain, you're gonna love the experience with the chainsaw. And it's not gonna be jumping, jerking or anything, and you're gonna be having a safer user experience. Now the chains are replaceable and you're gonna have to eventually replace it. You can sharpen them X amount of times, but sooner or later you're gonna have to replace your chain. I like to always have a couple of chains on hand, spare if you're in the middle of the job and you need a new chain or you haven't got time to sharpen it. You can always chuck a new chain on, leave this one aside, sharpen it when you have time, and then you always have a chain that's ready to go, sharpened or new or whatever. Also very important, this chain, so it's got holes there, it's gonna drag a lot of dirt under this cover. So what you're gonna have to do is, sometimes even mid-job, make sure your battery is not in the tool whenever you're doing this, okay? So you're gonna have to open this screw. Yeah, and then you remove this cover. See that? That's dirty, but that's not terrible. It can be much, much worse. I should probably clean this, but the last time when I used it, I honestly forgot. So, but it's not bad. For the video, if it's all clean, you can't really picture what I'm saying and talking about. So this is an ideal scenario. So this, ideally, you want to blow out with a compressor or use a brush or a old paintbrush or something that you're not gonna use on anything else, because all this here and on this cover, it's very oily and greasy. So you want to clean up all that nicely for your chainsaw to be operating better, and in general not heating up too much here as well, because all these moving elements heat up as natural. In here you can see that's your screw, and you can see on the white bit, you can see those grooves, and those grooves will catch into these black grooves, and that's how your chain gets, see, tensioned. Okay, so that's that. Now tensioning your chain is probably correctly tensioning your chain is probably one of the most important things with a chainsaw to get a nice, clean and good cut. Now this is got barely any movement. This has got 2-3 mil, so that's way too tight. And now I'm gonna release it a little bit. Still way too tight. And that's way too loose. Now this, at least what I do personally, I prefer to have about, when you pull the chain down, about 5-ish mil of clearance, okay? So that's, in my opinion, that's enough for the chain to be not too tight and just to be gliding relatively smoothly. You don't need to lubricate this manually, because once you put oil in your tank, oil will come out from the lubricating tube and it's gonna lubricate your chain and your bar itself. If you're using your chainsaw a lot, sooner or later you're gonna have to buy a new bar, because the channels and grooves where the chain goes around will get worn out and the chain is not gonna be sitting correctly in a bar and it's not gonna be operating right. So you're gonna have to replace your bar as well. Each bar here, it tells you pitch and gauge of the chain and also the tooth number. This one is 12-inch or 300 mil, pitch is 0.375, gauge is 0.043 with 45 tooth, and it tells you 10 meters a second is the rotating thing. Now, which batteries do you use? So you've got option of Ryobi 2 amp hour battery, put it there. you've got the option of Ryobi. This one is 5 amp hour, but 4 and 5 amp hour are same form factor. And you also got the option of, this is a Ryobi 6 amp hour. I've got a 9 amp hour which I didn't bring, but 9 amp hour is going to be a little bit heavy on this tool. I prefer using 9 amp hour on a drop saw. Now, just to put in perspective, 2 amp hour battery, it's got 36 watt hours of power to put out. 5 amp hour, it's got 90 watt hours. And 6 amp hour is got 108 watt hours. Now, I'll be honest with you and I'll tell you, I wouldn't even bother using 2 amp hour battery on this chainsaw, or any chainsaw for that matter, because it's gonna be just useless. It hasn't got enough power and current to put out to get the tool. It'll be spinning the blade, it'll be cutting, but the tool won't be happy. So put this aside, use 4, 5, 6, or even higher, 9, 12, if you can be stopped carrying all that load in your hands. So that's my advice for the batteries. Also, you can get different chain brands, and of course I'm talking for this chainsaw in particular. You can get PowerFit 12-inch chain. You can get Ryobi themselves produce chains. Now they say it's titanium. Or you can get an Oregon chain. Which one would I recommend? If you're gonna be cutting scrap wood, and if you know that you're gonna most likely damage your chain, you want something cheap, just go get PowerFit. It's a decent chain for the money. If you want the best, try Oregon. They are, I think, Canadian made, and I'm pretty sure that original chain on a saw is made by Oregon as well. I've got this one from Ryobi. I've never used it. I bought it, it was on special. I bought it, but I've never put one on a saw and used it, so I can't really tell you how good or not good it is. So that's just some of my advices on the chains and batteries of what you would use. So that's just some short video on how to use and how to maintain your chainsaw. I've got a 36 volt chainsaw that I still haven't made a video about. I'm planning to do that one shortly in the next couple of weeks as well. Just too busy with work and life in general. But I hope that this video is gonna help someone in not getting injured in general. That's the most important thing. I really hope that this video is gonna help someone in not getting injured and make the experience with the chainsaw a little bit more stressful. In a short and long term. So that's it, guys, for this vid. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Ciao.